A house is made of wood and stone, but only love can make a home. Welcome to the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, helping you make your home into one you'll love even more.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, Hailey. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Dan.
We are covering a ton of stuff today.
Yes.
And I don't know how we're going to do it all.
Well,
right? We are experts.
I think we'll land.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be face first, but we're going to give it our best shot. Ton of stuff. At the end of the show, we're going to be talking about Ben from Benjamin Mower. It's a budget-friendly paint. We mentioned it last week in a long list of budget-friendly products.
Ways to save money, yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't really cover it terribly well because we skipped a brand new thing. Ben has been improved dramatically with a number of additions, and we didn't say nary a one, right? We completely skipped them. So we're going to go back, revisit that, and let you know why Ben is really something you should consider if you're looking to save money on that next project. We're also going to be in the studio with our Benjamin Moore rep, Kevin Herman, talking about Ego lawn equipment. We've talked about Ego plenty of times.
Yes, we love it. And now we found someone that has an Ego zero-turn riding lawnmower, which is like as big as you can get in the battery realm of lawn equipment.
Right, because Ego is all battery-powered equipment. I was very curious how this mower, this big, huge mower, would work. Mm-hmm. I thought we'll never find anybody who has one because they're not inexpensive.
Right.
Lo and behold, we did. And we're going to get his take on it, and that should really help you decide if these tools are right for you. And, well, the real quick answer is they're going to be. He loves the thing, and we're going to hear more about that coming up. Right now, let's talk about an experience you had this weekend, kind of some additional learning, right?
Continued learning.
Continued learning.
Yeah.
I knew that was not the phrase. I knew additional was wrong, and I was confident you would correct me.
Well, you were right on all fronts.
Yeah. So your continual learning in the art world it took place at Oxbow.
Oxbow, which, if anyone is unfamiliar with it, it's in Saugatuck, and it's been around for like over 100 years. They started in 1910.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. But it was two friends that were both attending the Art Institute in Chicago and would vacation in Saugatuck, Michigan as like their escape from the city. It was like calm, peaceful, and a place where they could just focus on making art during the summer. And they ended up starting this art school / residency program that's been basically running ever since. And it's on 110 acres. It's huge. It's built kind of like a summer camp. There's like open air studios, cabins. You can actually just stay at Oxbow for like a vacation if you wanted to.
Are there
but they have
counselors?
Classes.
Did they make you sing songs around campfire?
No, it's not structured exactly like camp, although they do have like, camps that they'll host there. But like the classes aren't campy.
All right.
They're more formal, and you're getting, artists from all over the country that come to Oxbow and teach classes there from a wide variety of backgrounds and topics. Everything from music to printmaking to ceramics to glass blowing. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to do there, and it's for any experience level too,
Okay. Now, I've been there not for any kind of additional learning. Continued learning. Good grief. I'm going to write that down a minute. So continued learning. I was not there for that, but we did watch. I brought the children, and we all watched glass blowing.
Yeah, they do demonstrations there.
You can go and just watch, right? It's not something that I just have to go and take classes.
Yeah, they've got events all the time. The last day that I was there, they had a mobile library that's basically like a bus turned into a library, and it's a free library, so you can just explore and take used books. So yeah, they've always got stuff going on. Definitely check out their website, ox-bow.org. But I went for the classes there. I have an art background. I went to school for art. I still make art. But sometimes, you need like outside motivation to continue pushing yourself and growing and learning. And I thought, well, I might as well just take advantage of Oxbow. It's so close. And I ended up taking a writing / printmaking class there just to kind of push my own practice a little bit further. And it was a little intimidating because I've gone to school for art. The person that's teaching the class, is around my same age.
It doesn't get any better, Hailey. the older you get, the more you find, oh my goodness, all these people that know the stuff I need help learning are like 18 years younger than me.
Right. So I was a little bit, feeling competitive with the instructor, which is not productive. But I was also worried, okay, what if there's going to be like high schoolers in this class that have never done any of this stuff and they're still better than me? We've got all this expectation, like I have to perform at this certain level. And really, I just went there and I played and was curious and had fun. The campus is really cool. I honestly think that just spending time in Oxbow is my favorite part of the whole experience because there's animals everywhere. There's chickens. And if you've listened to the show, you know that I really am fond of chickens.
It's very strange. And believe me, you say if you've listened to the show, but it's just scratching the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg here, because you talk about chickens all the time. It's very strange. I think
they're very funny. There's just like something about them.
All right.
Anyways, they've got a bunch of chickens. They've got a duck that probably thinks he's a chicken. He hangs out with them. A cat named Moss that wanders the grounds. And a snapping turtle named Samson that's like part of the Oxbow lore.
Do we know how old Samson is?
They don't know how old he is. I think it'd be really interesting if they could find out because he looks ancient. Like there's moss and seaweed growing on the back of his shell. There's like snails living on top of him. He's his own ecosystem. Like this turtle is an island.
Right.
It's kind of nuts, but very cool. Everyone was super friendly there and nice. It's honestly just like a great place to hike around and learn things.
So tell me about, I don't want to go for art classes or anything like that, but I can go, walk me through that. Do I pay to go to just walk around? What does that all look like? Do you know?
They have a trailhead at like the very top of camp, and you can just walk those trails. If you're taking a class there, they are anywhere from $75 to $200 because they have workshops that are 1 day, 2 day, 4 days. They've also got like family classes there where anyone ages 5 and up can attend those, and those are a little bit pricey as well because you're doing an entire family class. But you said
class. You get a ton of supplies and things like that to work with, and you thought the price was not bad for what you got out of it.
No, because I got a ton of materials to use. I got lunch both days, and the lunch is not like camp lunch. It's like gourmet because they actually teach culinary classes there. So you're getting amazing food, and it's just a lot of fun. I can't recommend it enough.
So if anybody's out there looking for something to do, you think, in conversations you and I have had off air, you described it as a gem of West Michigan.
Yes, absolutely.
Something people should go and check out. If they want to check out the classes part of things, they can find that online at oxbow.org.
Yes, exactly. Oxbow.org. And you're looking for Art on the Meadow workshops. Those are the classes that are meant for the general public. You don't have to be an artist to take those.
Are you going to feel completely out of place? Like if I go with obvious skill, obvious latent talent.
They're going to know as soon as you walk down that hill
that I've got something going on. But it's not refined. I'm not going to look, completely stupid, right? They're going to embrace me as one of them.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Well,
they're nice people, right?
They're very nice people.
Okay, so I'll be okay. I don't have to have lots of skill to join this crowd.
No. Because there were like high school students in these classes. There were retired art teachers, like a huge range of ages and skill sets.
So you think it's for anybody? Anybody who's interested in arts of all kinds of different offerings, even if it's the culinary arts.
Right.
Any of those things, check it out, oxbow.org, and we'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Hailey approved. Dan gives it a nod because he trusts Hailey. I haven't been there. I'll have to see it for myself. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what I've been doing this summer, and we're going to apply it to take everything that we just talked about, everything I'm going to talk about, and kind of apply it to everything that's going on in your own lives out there.
It's big.
It's going to be magical, and that's all next. Stay tuned.
Helping you turn your house into your dream home. This is the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, presented by Benjamin Moore.
And we're back, and Hailey, we talked about your learning experience, your
additional learning.
No, it's called continued learning. I don't want you to embarrass yourself in front of people. Don't call it additional learning.
Yeah.
You'd have to be some kind of dope to do that. It's continued learning. Good grief. And we talked about your experience last segment, and now I want to talk. Mine isn't really... is it continued learning? I don't even know what it is. It's a midlife crisis is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, that's not far off.
No, I'm turning 50 this year, and that one really has bothered me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it really has. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to that. Up until this point, it hadn't bothered me. The age thing, I kind of shrugged that off. I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel young, and I still feel young, but that number...
50.
I guess I remember when Mom and Dad turned 50, and I remember thinking, do they have grave sites picked out? Because I really don't want to have to do that. When you're younger, it just seems like that bridge too
that's
far.
Old.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been thinking about things, and I guess with that big number in front of me, I've been thinking about things that I wished I had done. Because I started looking at life that way, that, okay, all these things that I missed out on. Mm-hmm. And it hit me a few weeks ago, and I've got a long way to go. It's not like this has been, the epiphany came and now everything's different. Right. No, I'm still at the bottom. No, but it hit me that I need to stop looking back and saying, boy, I wish I had. Because I still got a lot of time. In fact, what made this whole thing dawn in my head is I'm mowing the lawn listening to a book on Audible, and it was about the Civil War, and they were talking about Abe Lincoln and how he became president at 50. And I've looked for the quote, and I can't find it because I don't have a literal book, and I've got to listen to somebody, and that's really hard to do. But anyway, the quote was something along the lines of about how most of the great men, people that we know, great people, let's just say, they really hit their stride at 50 and beyond. That's...
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
That's what I'm telling myself. I'm matured now. I've experienced a lot of stuff, and now I'm ready to go. And it made me think, I got to stop looking at this like, okay, it's over and I missed out.
Right.
What's ahead of me? What can I do?
It's just the beginning, Dan.
Yeah. So I started wondering, why am I not doing stuff? What stopped me? And let's analyze this. I'm very analytical. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
And in all of that, and in preparing for our big design event that we've talked about in the past, it really hit me that fear is what's doing this and what stopped me. Anxiety, fear.
Well, yeah, because anything new is scary. It doesn't even have to be something big. It could just be going to a new restaurant. Okay, what is the waiting going to be like? What are the booths? What's the menu? There's always a level of questioning or anxiety that goes into anything when we've never been there or done that before.
Right, completely stops us. And it stopped me in so many regards. Projects around the house. I do plenty of painting. If I've got to paint something, I can jump in and do that. Sure. But it's because I'm comfortable with that. But if we talk about, okay, pulling down my cabinets and installing new cabinets, okay, that's starting to get bigger. Or, rebuilding the deck. I feel like I could probably jump into that, but it is something I get nervous about. The shed. There's all kinds of things, big projects that I really wish I could jump into. But it's fear, anxiety, all these different worries that I play out that stop me. And I started asking myself, is this really how I want to live? Is this really what I want to do? Or do I want to try some of these things? And so I picked a list of a handful of things, and some of them are really, really crazy. They're pathetic, honestly, because...
Okay, what is the list?
Yeah, well, there's a long list. I'm going to only talk about 3 of them. But one of them is shooting, doing things with guns. Yeah. Dad had shotguns and stuff when I was little. I never really messed with it. I wasn't big into hunting. But I do like the idea of target shooting and developing that skill. But it seems, I don't want to go to a range and look like an idiot.
Right.
I don't have experience with this stuff. How do I do that? Riding a motorcycle. That's something Dad has done. I have never, ever. I tried it once for about 5 minutes and couldn't get the shifting thing, bailed on it. Riding a horse. Another thing that I've done at camps, once in a while.
Sure.
It's a fun thing.
No, I think it's really fun.
But scares me to death. There's so much involved. Where do I even begin? And I realized that with all of those things, I'm cutting ahead. I'm not going to say that right now. What I've learned in jumping to all of these things, I've learned a lot of things. but 3 main things, and I think they apply to anybody out there who's in my boat. If you know what I'm talking about, and I don't mean that you're interested in shooting or riding a motorcycle or riding a horse.
And it could be a quarter life crisis.
It could be a quarter life. It could be wherever you are in life. If you're thinking, boy, I wish I could have done, you fill in the blank, and there's something that stopped you, I've got 3 things that might help you get over that hump and get moving again. And the first one is that what I found in all of this is that fear is front-loaded. And what I mean is, it's when I'm doing the thing, this new thing, I'm not finding as much fear. Let's talk about the horseback riding. I jumped into that. I remembered that my uncle does horses and gave him a call and arranged something. We got everything worked out. And the night before, I'm literally terrified.
Yeah.
I could not sleep. I'm not terrified. I don't even know what I'm terrified about. I think I don't want to look stupid.
It's just like all the what ifs. Like you don't know what to expect. Right?
Exactly that. I don't know what to expect. I love having everything mapped out in front of me, knowing how it's going to go. I didn't know anything. And I was thinking, especially the night trying to go to sleep was bad. But even as the days got closer, I was looking for any excuse to cancel this thing.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to bail.
I think we've all been there.
I'm sure we have. And the thing that I found is, okay, I didn't bail. I gutted through that really horrible night trying to sleep. And, I know that's pathetic. It really is in the grand scheme of things. But for me, it was a big deal. The drive down there wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I was going to be really amped up about that.
Right.
I think I just got over that hump. I made it through that night. That was fear's last big push on me.
Yeah.
And then I got there and I start with the horse and my uncle literally had me do everything. I thought the horse would be saddled and ready to go and he showed me how to ride. No, I had to pick up the hooves and scrape them out. I had to get the saddle on, brush them off, get the saddle on, everything. And he even commented, "You don't seem terrified. You don't seem..." He knows me. He expected me to be a mess. And I said, I'm not. I'm focused. I'm cautious about the horse because I know it can damage me. I know it's a big animal, but I'm not terrified. I'm just having a lot of fun. I got over that fear. That fear was really front-loaded. And once I got past that, I was okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it takes, is just like knowing that this is a temporary feeling and that as long as you can kind of gut through that a little bit, it's going to go away and you're going to have a lot of fun.
Right. So, yeah, like Hailey's saying, if you're thinking about something new that you haven't done and you want to jump into it, buckle up. If you're like regular people, it's going to get really bad before it gets better. But don't wait till it's better, before you jump in. You've got to actually jump in first, and then it will get better as you go.
Working through that little bit of uncomfortableness and that fear, and then being on the other side of it and realizing, okay, that was all front-loaded. Dan was right.
Yeah.
And now being on that other side and enjoying all of these things, it makes you want to keep trying new things. Right. I think I experienced the exact same feeling or anxiety, even just going into that art class that I have experienced in. Like, I still didn't know exactly what the class was going to be like or what the campus was going to be like. So I was afraid. And I realized once I was there that it was fine. And now I want to do it again.
Right, exactly. So remember that. The second thing, I'm going to have to hit the last 2 really fast. The second one is there are mentors all around you.
Yeah.
I completely didn't remember that my dad, I knew Dad rode a motorcycle, but I didn't think he would ever teach me because I didn't think Mom would let him. Mom is terrified of the thing.
Fair.
I asked, I just went out on a limb. Lo and behold, he was happy to teach me, and they gave me the motorcycle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All of a sudden, that happened. With the shooting thing, it turned out Peter Ogle, who we've had on the show multiple times, is an expert. He brought me to a range, showed me what to do. I'm good to go. My Uncle Jim and my Aunt Chris do horses. I completely forgot that. And I reached out. There were mentors everywhere. When it comes to projects, RepcoLite is full of people who will help you get where you want to go.
Absolutely.
So remember that. The last one, very quickly, start now. Don't wait till you're in a midlife crisis. Start now. If you're in a midlife crisis, don't think that you missed your chance. You can still start now. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be in the studio with Kevin Herman, our Benjamin Moore rep, talking not about paint, but about lawnmowers. That's all just ahead. Stay tuned.
If you want to take your DIY skills up a rung, the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show is here to give you a boost on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
And we're back, and we're in the studio with Kevin Herman from Benjamin Moore, our territory rep.
How you doing?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Normally, we would talk all about paint and all kinds of things paint-related with Kevin.
Yeah.
And we'd give him a hard time and all of that.
He is an expert, after all.
Yep,
he is an expert. But
leave humbled. Yes.
We've got something kind of interesting with you.
Yes. It makes me very happy, actually, because we've talked about the Ego stuff on the show before.
Ego lawn equipment. It's battery-powered lawn equipment. We've talked about it over and over again.
And Dan has the blower and the trimmer. He got me the blower and the trimmer. And then I got the lawnmower. And that was a bridge too far for him. He thought I was crazy.
A little crazy. A battery-powered lawnmower seemed like a bit much.
I was skeptical.
Yeah.
But then we heard that you had one.
Well, hold on.
I did.
Yeah, because the single one, the normal battery-powered lawnmower that I saw was a push mower.
Yes, that's the one that I have.
Runs off a 56-volt battery. We've loved the Ego equipment.
Yes, absolutely
Hailey loved the lawnmower. And we always promised that we'd come back and give an update. And we did that a few weeks ago where we gave an update, and Hailey still loves the lawnmower. I still love my stuff. It's held up. And then we were at an event with you, and you mentioned that you got a new lawnmower.
Yeah,
and you were talking about it, and it was battery-powered, and I was thinking, oh, boy, is it an Ego one? And Hailey asked, and it was. And it turns out Kevin went way. I mean, if the push mower was a bridge too far, this was like 5 states away from me. You went to a rider.
I did.
Just talk about why did you do that in the first place? Let's start with that.
Oh, we have gone through so many gas-powered riding lawnmowers, and I don't like dealing with the gasoline. I'm not very good at changing the oil. Lubing any of the gears or any of those things.
It's probably why you're going through so many.
It could have something to do with it. They received very little maintenance.
But you have to know yourself.
Yeah,
it's
know
important
yourself.
to know.
This isn't your bag.
And I'm always in a hurry for some reason. And I abused the last one myself. I couldn't blame it on the kids. And I destroyed it, more or less.
Yeah, you really did. Because tell me about that, because it was kind of funny.
The mower assembly broke off of one of the supports, so I used some bolts and I got it pieced back together. And it lasted for almost a year until it went, and then all those pieces dropped onto the blade, and then chunks went flying. And
that's good.
It needs a little bit more work than I'm capable of.
All right. So that was just a standard gas mower.
Yep.
There it is in your yard.
John Deere,
coughing up smoke, rolled over on its back, its belly in the air. It's over.
Nothing rolled over, but it did make a lot of noise, and parts did fly.
All right. So it's dead, and you need to get something new. What made you think battery?
I've had a battery-powered weed whacker for quite a long time. I love it. It's very convenient. And then a few years ago, I went to electric snowblower, and I really love those.
An electric snowblower. It's not the time for that conversation, but put that on the logs, Hailey. We'll have to get back to that.
Yeah, just very light, very easy to use. Again, you don't have to mix any oil and gas or even go buy gasoline. I don't have to worry about starting it. The batteries are charged. I put them in, and away I go.
So you like those things.
Loved them, yeah.
I decided
I'd look at electric lawnmowers. And a little skeptical myself. Will they cut the whole yard? How will they cut? I mean, how long does it take to charge? All those things. So I watched a bunch of videos, and I read a bunch of ratings, and then I watched more videos when I narrowed it down, and I found one that I thought would have the capacity to do the whole yard.
How big is the yard?
It's about a little over an acre, 1.2 acres.
1.2 acres.
So that's a good size yard.
Yeah, it's got a little bit to do. And so I thought, well, okay, this looks good. I'll take a chance, and I bought an Ego riding lawnmower, zero turn.
Zero turn riding lawnmower.
Really
it's
cool.
An enormous thing. And it runs on how many batteries?
It comes with 4 10-amp-hour batteries, but you can put 6 in.
Okay, are they the same batteries, or you don't have the other equipment?
I don't have the other equipment, but they can be used for the other
pieces.
I just found out about Ego. You guys didn't share all this stuff before.
It's been on the show.
So
wait a minute
missed
now.
That one. What?
He doesn't listen.
I do listen. Not every single one, but most of them.
That's like a knife through the heart, Kevin.
I'm sorry. I'm just
being
honest.
So you missed our recommendations.
Yes.
And you just did this on your own.
Yep.
So you got lucky. Like broadside of the barn kind of thing. You just, you did. You hit it.
I rolled the dice.
So I can't even imagine, because these are not inexpensive.
No.
I can't really seriously look at something that big and think I'm going to power that with 4 of these little batteries that are powering my blower. And I guess I'm very intrigued because my blower, we've talked about that, your blower the same way. It's got a standard speed that it blows at, and then it's got turbo. And once you use turbo, you don't want standard anymore. If I use turbo for more than about 17 minutes straight, I've drained my battery.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are playing in my mind when Hailey said she was going to get a mower.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I can't do 17 minutes on turbo. It works for me, and it does everything I need.
Yeah.
But a lawnmower, I'm not going to be swapping batteries every 17 minutes. How has it played out for you with this enormous mower?
It's been perfect. So it comes with 4 batteries. You can buy another 2. And I think when they're advertising, you'll do up to 2 acres. That's with the 6 batteries.
Okay.
So with my 1.2 acres, I can get through the whole yard in one charge.
Wow.
All right. So I kind of know the answer to this. At least I know it from 4 weeks ago when we first talked about this. You start out and you're zipping along at a decent clip. By the end, is your mower just kind of trying to get there?
No, it doesn't slow down at all. And it has 4 different speeds for the mower itself and how fast it'll go.
Turbo?
Top speed is like 8 miles an hour. I mean, it really flies. I've used all those to cut it. And it also has 4 different blade speeds. So if you want to go a lot faster and you have thick grass, you just turn up the blade speed. I imagine that would chew through the battery pretty quickly.
I would think so.
But I've gone top speed around the whole yard. It's dangerous. I have to wait till I get all the little stuff cut around first.
Of that.
Yeah.
I want Kevin zipping around his lawn.
Oh. Do you have video?
My wife does.
Okay. Well, we're doing video now, Kevin. That's possible. We can make you famous.
She would be cackling in the background. You might have to eliminate the sound.
Yeah, probably. Now, we're in the studio with Kevin Herman from Benjamin Mower, actually talking about a battery-powered lawnmower. Do you know the specifications of the mower, like the deck width?
That's 42 inches deck width. As far as the power, they say it's equivalent to about a 22 horsepower lawn tractor.
Okay.
Now, does it have a bagger?
It doesn't come with one, but you can put one on.
Did you put one on?
I did not.
Okay, so I would imagine that extra weight also would dramatically, or at least potentially.
You know, it is very light compared to the other tractors we've had. So that's one of the things that I would say if there's anything that's maybe a little bit of a negative with it so far. It's lighter, so you bounce around a little bit more.
Okay.
Right? You feel that. But the seat's
and you're
pretty
going faster.
And you're going a lot faster. One of the things I love is that it used to take me an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, depending on how I was cutting the front and back lawns. If I was trying to do nice straight lines, or if I was just running around circles. I can get done in about an hour now. Because with that zero turn, there's no wasted time. You're not back and forth, going back and forth to get your line again. You just flip around and start speeding the other way. So much faster.
All right. So it's really fast. Now, I saw a story I was telling Hailey about yesterday. Just came across the news, and a gentleman in Florida was arrested. He had a history.
Okay.
And the police approached him, and he made for an escape. And the only vehicle accessible to him at that moment was a riding lawnmower.
No kidding.
So he took off.
Oh,
and he was captured. He did not have the speed necessary. Do you think you could have eluded the law? Should that?
If they were walking, yes.
All right.
If they're in their police car, no.
Okay.
Not a chance.
Well, if you go off road though, does it have big knobby tires? Like you could really
I think you could probably do a little bit, but I'm not sure that I'd recommend do that or advocate for it. But
so if you have to ditch it and run, do you think you've got that in you?
It's faster than I could run.
Okay. Well, eventually you can't go any further. Do you think you could outrun the law should you have to on your legs?
On your legs?
No.
Well, I just want to play this out. I want to know for sure.
I'm not going to put myself in that position.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so you like it.
Yes.
All of these things, I guess I am curious. I'm crazy finicky about my lawn. It's got to look just right. The children, the other day...
Did you get like a little ruler out there? And...
I have not done that. That is an idea. I could send somebody out with a ruler. It's hot
I'm not
right
sure
now.
That's finicky. That's maybe a little obsessive. But
could be.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
it's
wrong.
To the next level.
It's just taking it to another level. Yeah. But no, the children pointed out that it looks like a baseball field. You know, it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your lawn? So I guess I want to know, when you say thumbs up, I mean, is it just like,
No.
You don't care?
The actual cut of the lawn is much more uniform than it ever was with the lawn tractors. I don't have a bunch of dead grass that gets blown out the side chute that, browns by the next time.
Why not?
I don't know. It just disappears. I think it mulches it much better. But there's no grass sitting on top. It used to drive me crazy. Sometimes I'd go over it twice just to try to get rid of all those blades of grass sitting on top.
Yeah, Kevin and I.
Yeah, not anymore.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah, it's easy to keep a straight line. It's very easy to control, and it definitely looks more even on the cut than anything I've had in the past. And we've had 3 different riding lawnmowers here. We did it with one of those big ones that you walk behind. Had one of those for a short time. This cuts it much better.
You wreck that one too?
No, it's that one has some manufacturing defects. There's a spring that keeps breaking, but it's broken. It's sitting in the shed. Yeah.
All right. That's what I have. Oh, man.
What do you think, Dan? Are you in the market for a new lawnmower?
Well, I would like to have a second lawnmower, a backup mower. Well, I've got a backup. I would like a backup for the backup.
Oh, my gosh. Obsessive.
Well, sometimes I do mow twice. And I could have somebody simultaneously mowing twice.
Oh, there you go.
It'd be like a dance on the yard. We could choreograph it and time it just right.
Synchronized mowing.
Synchronized mowing, yeah.
I got to tell you, really happy with it. It charges in 2 hours.
Wow.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I like
And if somebody's in a bad mood and you put them on that, they're going to start smiling. It's that much fun.
Do you have
to drive.
people fighting over it?
My kids have volunteered to cut the grass, and now I have to tell them not to because last night especially I wanted to cut it myself before I came in here.
Yeah.
People are fighting over mowing.
It's fun.
It's like Tom
Sawyer. It's fast, and it's fun.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's honestly what we've heard, because Hailey was at our 17th Street store talking with Dave Helmholt, our store operations guy, and you mentioned that we were going to be talking to Kevin.
He was all excited because, I've got an ego. I think he wanted in on the interview. We could have had 4 people here. And he was just going on and on about how everyone in his family now fights over mowing the lawn because it's so much fun.
Yeah, very responsive, very easy to control.
So thumbs up. You haven't seen, you've had it for about how long now? A couple months?
Maybe a month, maybe month and a half.
So everything's good there.
Yeah.
Yours was
Dave
still looking.
has had his for 3 years.
Yeah.
He's had his mower the longest out of all of us, and he hasn't noticed any change in the battery life. It's still operating the same way. I mean, he's over the moon about it still.
Well,
very quiet too.
Yeah, well, and that's really intriguing.
Yeah,
the quiet part, I really like that idea.
I couldn't find Jordan outside. I didn't know where he was in the house. I was looking outside. He wasn't on that side of the yard. Couldn't see him. Didn't hear anything. So I would have never known that he was out mowing, and then I happened to look out the side of the house that he was mowing, and he's mowing the lawn right now. I had no idea.
Yeah. The only thing that makes noise is the blade whirring. So you hear that.
And you giggling with glee as he mows.
Dave said that his sprinklers are louder than the lawnmower now.
All right.
Yeah, that's something.
It's not for everybody, because it's something you gotta, it's a jump
an investment
with money.
Yeah.
It can break some budgets, but intriguing with the price of gas the way it is, with just all the fiddliness of having a mower that you have to take care of or just treat it as disposable. However you want to do that.
Hopefully this one lasts a little longer.
Yeah, we'll see once. We'll keep checking in, but I did want to get this on the air because I am literally blown away that you've had that kind of experience with something so big.
Really love it.
Yeah. Kevin Herman, thanks for being here talking about your ego.
For having me. All right.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Take care. Okay, bye, guys.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we talked last week about Benjamin Moore's Ben. It's a great budget-friendly product.
Yes.
But we failed to mention a number of
improvements.
Yeah, improvements that really make it something you might want to consider for that next paint project, and we're going to hit those just around the bend. Stay tuned.
If you want to take your DIY skills up a rung, the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show is here to give you a boost on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
And we're back, and Hailey, let's talk about Benjamin Moore's Ben.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week briefly. We kind of went through some budget paints.
Exactly. Entry-level products, that are going to save you a little bit of money.
And still perform
better than other products in that same price category from our competitors. And one that we talked about was Ben last week. It's a product that I've always really liked for its application qualities. It's been specifically designed to be really easy to work with if you're a first-time painter and you're doing your whole house. So you're on a budget, you're not super great at painting yet, and you need it to look good at the end.
And that was your experience with it. I had not used Ben a lot, and you came on and really, really started plugging it as something you really liked. And in fact, I think you even said you liked it better.
I do like it better than Regal sometimes. I've had experiences where at least the application qualities better suit.
What do you mean by application qualities? Let's really, really clarify what you're talking about.
It has a longer open time, so it's not drying quite as quickly, which a lot of modern paints do. They're water-based, they're acrylic, and they dry really fast. And that's not always the best.
Right. Well, it sounds good.
Right.
And if you don't do a lot of painting, okay, that's going to dry really fast. That's what I want. It's bad because it makes it harder to work with, harder to get it to look good. When it stays wet a little longer,
it's forgiving to all of your mistakes.
So you like that part about it.
Yes.
What other things?
I always thought that the hide was actually really good for its price point, which is surprising.
Okay, so let's talk about coverage and hide. Well, not everybody, but lots of people conflate the two. They're different. Coverage is just how far the paint will go when it's applied correctly.
Right.
Hide, what we're talking about there is literally what it sounds like. How well does it block or hide that other color underneath it?
Exactly.
And you found that to be really good. And that is one of its big strengths.
Right.
But you found that to be better than Regal?
There was one situation where it did perform better, and I don't know if it was just because of a color formula. I can't say that that's across the board. I'm sure that it's not, because Regal does have more of the titanium dioxide, which is going to give it better hide overall. But in the specific situation, I did have better performance with it.
Right. You're going to get variations as time goes by, just like Hailey's pointing out there. In most situations, Regal is going to outperform Ben.
Right.
It's got more solids by volume, which means it's going to hide better typically in most colors. And it's a better product. It's going to last longer, be more durable, all of those things.
Yeah, you get what you pay for ultimately.
But it's also a lot more expensive than Ben. And I think that's where Ben is really interesting, because a lot of people, most of us operate on a budget. I don't know, there's tons of people that...
Right.
Even the people
like that top 1% doesn't. That's 1% of us.
I don't know. Do they not?
Well, I'm sure they have.
They still have their own budget. And
it's just not like ours.
It's absolutely not like ours. But, so most of us have some kind of budget that we're working with. And that's where Ben is really, really fun. We talk about things, we're always talking about you get what you pay for, the value of going to a better product, and that's all real.
Yeah.
But also real is the fact that we don't all have the money to get there. And it's really good to talk about products that will get you really close, but save you a chunk of money. Ben does that. We talked about that last week. What we failed to mention are some improvements that really make this even more intriguing.
Exactly.
And we all know about ScuffX, or at least we should. If you don't, well, I'm not going to say shame on you.
You haven't been listening as often as you should.
Right, or as attentively. And ScuffX is a product from Benjamin Moore. How old is that? It's not new anymore.
No, let's see. It's at least 5 years.
Okay, we have no idea if we're exactly right on that. We're just
Yeah.
pulling numbers out of the air, kind of. But it's an older product, been around for a few years like that. And it outperforms anything we've ever seen when it comes to scuff resistance. Literally, we've never seen anything like it, right?
It's kind of like magic, honestly.
It really is.
We don't know how it works.
Go and watch some videos online. You don't have to watch just ours. Watch anybody's. ScuffX really, really performs well when it comes to resisting scuffs.
Yeah.
And now they've added some of that technology to Ben.
Right.
That does not mean Ben is bargain basement ScuffX. No. But it is going to resist scuffing better than it did in the past, and that's going to push it really, really into the, boy, I might use this on certain spaces in the home.
Exactly.
So,
if it's going to be more durable now, and it hides well for that price point, and it's easy to work with, it's got a lot of really good qualities.
A lot of really good qualities. Ben from Benjamin Moore. We just wanted to make sure you got that information about the addition of the scuff resistance. Check it out. Hailey, that's it. That's all the time we've got. We're going to wrap it up. If you want to catch this one again, if you missed anything, You can find it online at RepcoLite.com. While you're there, subscribe to the podcast.
Yes.
You'll never miss another episode. If you're really looking to try something new, go to YouTube and search for the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, and you can watch video of it.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
Pretty great.
Pop some popcorn. Your dreams have been answered. No, you can check it out. Just go to YouTube, look for RepcoLite Home Improvement Show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
And you'll never miss an episode video-wise. So anyway, whatever you do today makes your paints a part of it. The RepcoLite and Port City paint stores are open until 3, waiting to help. I'm Dan Hansen.
I'm Hailey Johnson. Thanks for listening.